Welcome back to Cask 529, everyone. I'm Brian.
And I'm Shona.
Tonight we're going to talk about our 5 must-have bourbons that we will buy over and over
and over
again. All right, guys, we're back and ready to start in on this list, and I'm going to let Shona, I think, tackle the first one.
I will. Why? Because it's mine. It wasn't one of my original go-tos. It wasn't until probably, maybe 4 or 5 months ago when we had this one. And it has become a staple for me. Not only is it a good nightly sipper, it's also one that I love to put in my old fashions. Mm-hmm. So this is a bourbon that you will see in our bar at all times, and that is the Old Forester 100 proof. And you can't beat it. It's 100 proof. It's great tasting, has a lot of caramel flavors, a little bit of oak, a little bit of char, vanilla. It's just a great pour that when you're looking for a bourbon, it's exactly what you're thinking a bourbon will be. It's only $23.99 here in Ohio. So it's a great one to have in your bar and one that we will stock over and over.
And like you said, it's pretty versatile.
It is.
You enjoy sipping on that. Mm-hmm. We make cocktails with it. So,
yep.
And it's even at 100 proof, it's a pretty easy sipper.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And we've had some newbies that we've introduced to that that have really enjoyed it as well. So
yeah, and it's one that's affordable to have in your bar.
Okay, so for me, up next is my Bulleit Orange Label that I have talked about for a year on this show. My friend Andy got me turned on to this bottle originally. I guess we started out, or I should say I started out with Angel's Envy. And then I was trying to find somewhere to go after Angel's Envy as I was trying to progress my palate, I guess. And I went to Elijah Craig initially, and I was okay with it. I liked it. I wasn't crazy about it, but I liked it. And then something happened that we seemed to have quit drinking bourbon for a little while. And when I went back to it, boy, I just couldn't get going on it again. So Andy said, hey, you need to try this Bulleit Orange Label. It comes in at 90 proof.
Yep.
And here in Ohio, it is also $24.99. So it's not going to break the bank.
Are you shocked with that price?
I am.
Yeah, I was too.
Because I feel like they've lowered it.
This up. That's why I wanted to see if you'd
catch.
It was $24.99 when Brian first started drinking it.
Yep.
And we bought several bottles at $24.99. Then all of a sudden, I think it went up to actually $28.99 just for a really short period in Ohio. Then it went back down to $27.99. And so when I actually looked it up tonight so that we could disclose the prices, and it's back down to $24.99. So I wondered if you
and actually
would
when
catch
you said $28.99, I think it actually went to $29.99.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was knocking on the door of 30.
Yeah.
So when I saw $24.99, I was like, it did. It caught me off guard. So anyway, there's real mild oak in here, a little bit of char, but you really have to look for some of those things. So that's why I think Andy suggested that bottle to me, because those are things that he's not crazy about, real strong oaks and chars and that kind of thing. And that's honestly, Andy's pretty much stayed at that point where we've progressed, where we enjoy a lot of the higher proof stuff. But we still like to go back to the things that really made us comfortable in the bourbon world.
We do. And Brian actually buys that in the 1.75
I do.
And he refills the bottles just because it's a little bit cheaper that way. But the Bulleit Orange is not one I typically go to. However, Brian does when he makes cocktails. He'll use that for cocktails too. So I do consume it. It's not one I ever go to. However, I will say it's not one that we would have on a frequent basis. Like this one, we will always have it. But I do enjoy a lot of the Bulleit line. But I'm more of the single barrel, or the 10-year is really good too.
Yeah, the whole Bulleit line.
Yeah.
As she said, I enjoy the whole Bulleit line. So.
Yeah. So the next one up is kind of yours too. I go to this one every now and then, but Bryan, this is a must-have for Bryan, must-have staple here.
It's actually in my glass tonight.
And that is
Wild Turkey Rare Breed. I don't know that you can go wrong with this, really. Not only do I enjoy the Rare Breed, but I enjoy the Rare Breed Rye as well. It, however, is not on our list because I know there's a lot of ryes out there, and the Rare Breed Rye is, we're not huge rye drinkers. I would say that's a fair statement. And
we both enjoy rice.
We do enjoy them, but it's not something that we every day go to and grab a pour of it. So to say it's on our must-have list that's kind of a stretch at this point. It may be one day, but so the Rare Breed 116.8 proof here in Ohio comes in at $49.99. So again, another bottle that's not going to break the bank. I don't know. When we first got this, I think we kind of entered with caution.
Because of the proof point.
Because of the proof point. But it really, to us, doesn't drink at 116.
Yeah, it's a great, great pour.
And I know we're not alone in the bourbon world with Wild Turkey Rare Breed. It's a great bottle to have.
It is. And we both go to that one a lot. It's really good. So the next one, I'm going to claim that one's mine, even though I do know that Bryan drinks this a lot too. But you'll see my hand go grab for it the most often. And I can tell you that we've probably bought a half a dozen of these in the last year.
Probably.
And that is the Four Roses single barrel at 100 proof. Of course, they are single barrels. We did a show on it a long time ago with 3 different barrels, and they do taste just a little bit different each time. But I've not tasted a bad bottle yet.
No, in fact, we got last fall maybe. We were fortunate enough to pick up an OHLQ pick.
Right.
For those not in Ohio, we don't have store picks in Ohio. Liquor is controlled by Ohio Liquor, by the state basically. They do OHLQ picks. So no store picks in Ohio, we have OHLQ picks. And they do a pretty decent job, really.
They do. It's a little bit higher. Like the single barrel is always 100 proof. The store pick, the OHLQ pick, is a little bit higher. It comes in just over 100 proof on it. But again, great bottle. A lot of the bottles I get the cherry note that I really like. But again, full of the typical elements that you're looking for with the oak, the caramel, the vanilla. But this one sometimes brings a little bit of spice with it and some cherry notes. Just a delicious pour, and great for $49.99. It will definitely always be a staple at our bar.
Definitely, it's and these two are getting dangerously low. But I do know we have backups to this.
We do. We already have the backup.
Yep, but the Rare Breed.
Yep, you got to get one of
That
those.
was dangerous.
And Old Forster's getting a little bit low too.
It is. Yep. So I'm going to let you have the last one because I know it's yours.
It is, and I don't know if anybody will disagree with me on this one.
No, it's definitely hers.
Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Delicious at 90.4 proof. It's just a smooth overall pour. It's a little bit softer than other bourbons just because it has that double barrel. And so it just softens it a little bit, but you get all kinds of flavor out of it. And for $55.99 for a double oaked, it's a really good price, a really good value. And again, it's just an amazing pour. And it literally, if I have to think about what I'm having, it's probably my top go-to. I go to this one a lot, I go to this one a lot, but this one, majority of the time, and we always have a backup ready to go for this one.
And she's right. If she can't decide what she wants to pour in her Glen, she just grabs the double oak from Woodford.
I do. It is delicious. And you know what? I just noticed on these, I'm just moving them back a little bit in case they're off the camera because I can't really tell on the camera.
Can't either. We'll move back a little bit further.
We did a really good job. These are all from different distilleries. I didn't even think about that. When we were pulling them off the shelf, we didn't even think about what distiller it was or anything like that. I think, honestly, have we been to all of these distilleries? I think you went to Four Roses. I've not been to Four Roses.
I don't think we've been to Old Forester.
No, you're right. We have not.
There. We've been to Bulleit, obviously Wild Turkey. I went to Four Roses, and I know we've been to Woodford.
Yep, over and over again.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't been to Woodford, even if you're not going to buy a bottle in the gift shop, across the street they've got a little cocktail house.
Yeah.
Awesome, relaxing atmosphere just to sit out on the patio there with
It's great.
old fashioned or whatever.
Or the nice, worn, comfy leather sofas inside.
Yeah, depending on the weather.
Yeah.
Really.
On how crowded it is.
Yep. So what's of these? I'm going to ask what's in your Glen tonight.
Mine has the Four Roses single barrel, just because it's getting kind of low. So I think it's
kick it.
Yeah, I'm trying to kick it. So that's what's in mine tonight.
And I already said I had the Wild Turkey breed. So
if you would leave us a comment on what is your top 5 bourbons, whiskeys that you will stock over and over and over at your house or your bar. Which ones are must-haves, always in your collection?
You know, off different show, but when we were first getting started, we did a line, what we would stock our bar with if we were starting and had a $250 budget.
Yes.
Just doing some quick math, this is a fantastic lineup. There's a bunch of great labels and a bunch of great product, and these just barely are over $200.
Yeah, you're right. So we could
for these 5.
We could include one more bottle in there.
Like I think we're probably less than $205 for these 5 bottles, which that's fantastic, really, in this world, in the bourbon world. So, all right.
And you know, it's been a while since we've done that show.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking we might want to revisit that because we have a lot more options to us now than we had at that time.
Yeah, maybe towards the end of the year, we'll have to do one of those again.
Yep.
And see how it matches.
So. Yeah, because that was a fun show, and if you're new to the bourbon world, it's kind of interesting to see how far you can stretch that dollar, and not really sacrifice quality. I mean,
Right. And these are all easy to find.
Yeah, nothing here allocated.
You can just go grab them.
Anywhere here locally, I know we can go in the store and grab any of these. So.
Yep.
Okay. So I think with that, that's all we have for this episode.
It is.
And drop us a line, guys. Drop us a comment. Let us know what you think. Any of these your go-tos? What would you throw in? What bottle do you have to have? And give us a like, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until next time, thanks for joining us and be safe.
Thanks, everyone.